Welcome, friends, to the Gamer Down. This is your host, Dark Hoses. And I just wanted to make a quick little video to address Artifact Hotspots. I know the series kind of ended abruptly, and there was a reason. I was out at Scarwood Reach doing the final episode for Artifact Hotspots when I noticed that there was no artifacts. I was like, wow, I thought this was a really good spot because I'd had this spot for Scarwood Reach already picked out, and I noticed there was no artifacts. And it came to find out that Trion had stealth nerfed all of the hotspots, and I don't know if maybe they were watching my videos because it seems that every single one of the old hotspots, and see here I'm checking back to some of the old hotspots, and if you remember, this area used to just be stuffed. I mean, everywhere you walked, there was an artifact. You couldn't go 20 feet without an artifact, and now it's just completely decimated. It's just ridiculous. They lowered the rate to an ungodly number. It's just a stupid number now. You rarely see artifacts anymore. One good thing, they did increase the drop rate for greens and blues. So you're going to get a lot more blues and greens, and you still can make money off artifacts. It's just farming them has become quite a nightmare now. There's no real hot spots anymore. The spawn rates are just so low. A few of the places don't seem to be hit as bad. I didn't want to delete all of the Artifact Hotspot videos. I mean, that represents a lot of work I did, and if I go back through every video and write nerfed on it, it's just a lot of work that I would really like to use that time to devote to other videos and brand new videos. So I just wanted to make this video to try to explain what happened and kind of apologize too. I've got 10 Artifact Hotspot videos floating around. I guess maybe I should delete them. It's just such a crying shame to see that so much work, and there's also information in Artifact Hotspots which I think some people might find useful. I don't think it's a complete loss. The artifacts do still spawn at the locations I marked in my videos, but the spawn rate is just ridiculous now. You are better off just roaming aimlessly and finding artifacts that way. I'm serious. That's one of the better ways to find artifacts now, is just to wander aimlessly and hope for the best, and also to get some of the artifact map guides, and I don't even know how relevant they are anymore. They did quite a number on the artifacts. Besides lowering their spawn rates, they seem to have also maybe moved some around as well. They said like, oh, okay, we moved impossible to get artifacts lower down, for people to get, but it seems like they also tooled around with some of the original spawn locations. So I don't know what they're thinking, and I don't know why they decided to destroy a really cool part of this game. So many people were really into artifacts, and they really enjoyed the hunt and the pleasure of going out and finding them, and I was one of those people. I was one of my highlights of Rift was artifact hunting. I don't know, I know it's kind of lame, but it's kind of fun too, and they just completely decimated this whole part of their game. Artifacts are pretty much out. I mean, there's better ways to make cash now. I mean, you can still make cash off artifacts, but you're better off just probably farming ore and things like that, because they did tool the ore spawns as well. So now that the spawn rates on ore is very low now, and they stealth nerfed so many things. I mean, they stealth nerfed the drop rates on mana potions and health potions, and they are just constantly stealth nerfing things, and maybe hide some of the facts in their patch notes. They're not ever coming completely clean with what they're doing, and I find that very upsetting, because I thought Trion was going to be very open and honest with what they plan to do, but there's so many things they do behind the scenes, and then it's like people don't even realize until much later. But you can see that there's some of the old locations are still very relevant. you know, here like at Care Colum and Stillmore. And most of the fortresses seem to have maintained their spawn rates to a point, you know, and they maintained their spawn locations. You know, they weren't as devastated as a lot of the open world areas. So if you are still artifact hunting, you know, I'd still hit the fortresses, you know, and your best bet for hunting artifacts is just to wander around and hit the edges of the map and go up, you know, above the mountains and things like that, because they've decimated the hotspots. So anyway, I humbly apologize for what Trion did to the artifacts. This has been your host, Dark Hosts, for the Gamer Down, and happy hunting.